So I haven't uploaded like anything past I think maybe the first 24 hours into season 2. So it's been, excuse me, season 3. So it's been a complete absence for me. So um, I am just doing a recording for the season 4, which for me is just replaying Rebuilding Glory, but in a non-RP capacity. Me and a few friends met up with a preformed group, and we found somebody who's been really cool. So, anyways, yeah, we've been very fortunate this season too. Find a really good group, and we went Gondor because we were denied the season 10, excuse me, the Respect 10 quest stuff um, for Boromir. We're trying to take Argonath to get his horn, and maybe take Osgiliath to get Faramir's cape. And unfortunately, we were denied both by rude whales. So anyways, with all the hoopla and the chaos of the Season 4 War of the Ring campaign, and how much it's been unbalanced in Good's favor, with people pretty much quitting week 2 or 3 in, me and a couple buddies decided, well, we're not going to wait for that. We're not going to sit and bag in for weeks. Let's pop onto non-role play and see how we like it. And honestly, so far, it's kind of funny because as a person who only likes using good units, I can still play that way. And the nice thing is now my friends who want to play, now that I have my friends who want to use the evil units can now use them. And they've already pulled Witch Kings and Saurons and LOTR and a bunch of new stuff. So it's been pretty cool for them to have that experience and me still to play with them, but retain my just good side units. So anyways, what are we going to do here? I figure what we'll do is we'll just give you this season I changed my name to Beric Dondarrion, a nod to one of the characters in Game of Thrones. So he is somebody who is loyal to, at first, to King Robert and then Ned Stark, and then things kind of spiral out of control there as everything develops in the realm of Westeros. But anyways, so we started Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So we're 3 days into the server. I'm at 126 tiles, 11.5 production. We're not doing too bad as far as the ranking goes. I'm 14th on the server for personal ring level, a little higher up for personal production, 17, which I'm okay with. I just, as much as I like to invest into this game, I just don't have that kind of time. Our fellowship is number 1, Gondor is number 2, another Gondor is 5. Go down the list here, another Gondor is 16, 2021s, but I mean, these are small. This server is pretty empty so far. There is a handful of people we think we can have some fun with, but it's looking pretty stacked. There's a lot of groups in these starter regions for Gondor, so it's a pretty interesting kind of thing. But anyways, I'm in a really good group. A shout out to the guys at last, the leader Bugson, and the entire leadership team for one of the guys, Gambit, reached out to us and back end, said, hey, do you guys want to come join us? You look like, because we were looking for pretty much the same thing. It was mature and respect players and just, no shenanigans. We're not looking to be toxic. We don't want to play with toxic people. We don't want to be toxic. After the last couple seasons of having to deal with certain elements of that, we were trying to be better than that. And thankfully, we've made a good impression so far, and I've been blessed to be a part of the leadership team. So, and it's a mix of official, unofficial. So my buddy Haas is part of the leadership team as a confidant. One of my buddies, Glennion, and yeah, it's good stuff. It's pretty fun so far. We're having fun. Like I said, 3 days in, it's one of the byproducts of a crowded faction is a lot of people are scrounging for tiles. We're having tile snipers. We're having people do the draw sniping, and we're just trying to really find a way to make the most of it, try to keep it cordial, and start taking keeps this weekend preferably. Or at the very least, me and a buddy of mine, I should say me and a fellowship mate here got this crossing earlier. And we're going to try tomorrow at 17 UTC to grab this one. That way we can get into this main body of land that is Osgiliath, because we need the resources. I'm doing pretty well. I was pretty aggressive enough to where I've consolidated my tiles into 150s, 130s, 90s, and 60s, but it's my job as a fellowship leader and as a faction leader to make sure that we're taking care of our people, and that's to avoid unnecessary fighting and help them with what they need help with. So, yeah, I know it's going to be overwhelming. Oh, it's so nice. Southwest bound. Southwest bound. Let's kick that off just in case it's copyrighted. So we're doing pretty decent as far as all things considered. But anyways, it's kind of an update, but really just wanted to record some videos and have some fun. So we've got Merry and Pippin over here gathering on a 130 tile, and I took the time to... Where's he at? Oh, he'd be at the top because he's got a unit. And I took the time to build a resource gathered 12% Hobbit Fiddle, which people are probably like, you're high, but it's a Hobbit Fiddle. I don't really like Hobbit Fiddles is for unit accessories, so to me it made sense if I was going to have those that I would have the one that actually had some practicality. Because I don't know anybody who, like, maybe, you could argue, maybe, where's it at? This could probably be good on Army Speed Melee. You could probably use that to good effect on Gandalf the White between the Army Speed and the Focus, but I'd rather just put a Sustain Pipe on him or something even better. So, I don't know. Not a huge fan of that. So, we're playing as Gondor this season, which means we have to use Gandalf the Grey starting off, just because he's a healer. He's a damage mitigator, really good sustainer. We have to do the same with Dwalin. Dwalin's got the heals we need to keep our troops alive while we're scrounging. Arwen, Queen of Gondor in the future, and just a great sustain commander, especially with the half-elven rework. So we love using her. And I got to tell you, her brother Elra here, one of Elrond's sons, my God, I love using him now. He is pretty darn terrific. So he's got Dwalin's heal tree with Merry and Pippin's War Chant. He's got the nice reworked half-elven, and he's got a good R5 loyal followers. So I'm trying to get him up to R10 this season, so I can get his unique item. But I like using him as a kind of a hybrid commander. You can really toss anything on him, but I've got a Cutlass with Melee Might, Scale Mail with Guard, Horse Helm with Melee Defense, and Mounted Vigor. I've got 3 Horse Helms. I cycle a Stun 1, usually on Theoden, Madness 1 on Eowyn because of her natural stun immunity, and then I've just got a 3rd one this season. I thought, you know what, let me just do Mounted Vigor, because, I don't know, something to me just said, hey, you're going to be using, at least for the PvE aspect, you're going to be using a commander that is a sustain, and this just helps make that even better, where it's not just the 2 rounds, it's through the entire length of battle. So anyways, so we got him, then we got Hithlane for the army HP boost. So anyways, we did just pull a cool item. We did just pull this actually out of the tavern with Opportune Strike, which I was debating whether or not to use on Theoden, but I was told that in the grand scheme of things, I better go to build here. In the grand scheme of things, that there's really not a huge range here. I mean, doing 35 would be nice. And doing 42 would be nice, but those aren't, I would say, nearly as drastic as like 18 to 26. They're close, but not that close. But if you could do the first 2 rounds, doing that 40% damage and doing it at 26, that would be huge. And I'm looking forward to using Faramir this season. Probably also Boromir, but definitely Faramir. We've got the Council of Elrond, which I've gotten to pretty great success, actually, which I don't normally think that's a great... it's a little misleading. It's a little bit on the false advertising side because you click on it and there's King Aragorn, but you only get the... how's it pronounced? Athelis. Excuse me. The herbs, the plant, the weed, for Aragorn the second, which is a T2. So it's a little misleading there, which is really frustrating. which I don't really care for, but it is what it is. Interesting. I don't like that weapon. I don't know why I would ever use that. God, I'm getting tons of these carvers. We don't need more of those, but we'll take them. Actually, I misspoke. Yes, we do. Another purple? Okay. So we are going to go into here. We've got a bunch of tips cooking here. Okay. So let's use these on Aragorn. We're going to try to get him up to 10 as well. And we're going to... We're good on that. Yeah, what a weird choice for this. I don't know why I would ever want that. The thing is, I've gotten this thing while playing on RP, and I don't know why. I don't know why they don't make a better effort to separate those. So here's the lineup, just so we see. We'll start with the head stuff. I've got a Swan Helm with Fortitude, fully strengthened, 2-star refined. I would kill if I could get Resolve of Men, but for right now, I'll take what I can get. And Fortitude of Men isn't bad. Cask, 4-star strength, and 3-star refined with Aegis. That sits on my Gandalf to try to make him the best Witch King counter I can. This is just a throwaway for now. I like the High Elf helmet, which I will use for my Gil-galad. Don't have him up very high. Just got him at the very tail end of last season. But I'll probably go Resolve of Elves if I can get him. Otherwise, Fortitude of Elves I'd like. Bone Mask for the Hysteria, although I don't know how I'll handle these. I don't know if I'll be using Boromir that much this season. I'll probably try to use Faramir. I might consider working on a third full helm. I don't know yet. I kind of like the idea of putting a bone helm on him. Trapper's Hood for my Faramir, for at least for right now. I like the Hysteria. I like the Army Attack +3. Like I mentioned earlier, I have 3 sets of horse helms. Ideally, one for Theoden, one for Eowyn, and the third for whoever, whether that's Gandalf the White, or in this case, Elrohir. I did pull Felgen, the new dwarf. He's got this Arnor Cask, which the focus I use because I'd like to increase his focus, which then modifies some of his healing. His warding, which will be for the first 2 rounds, which is where also it'll come into play of his damage mitigation. And then I've got a couple of these old casks for some secondary might commanders. Moving into the hand tools, I've got Dwallin's Twin Axes was a hell of an investment. I won't go up one more on the strengthened, but I might eventually go up more in on the refined. But it's actually not bad. It's good might, good speed. Army Attack Dwarves is solid. I mean, he's not really a buff. He's a PvE sustainer, but he's not really a unit buffer. So that's not the worst thing to have. I've got a fully strengthened Reach the Ritter Mark with Might of Cavalry that will be going on Theoden after a certain point is reached, which Eowyn will then receive Cutlass with melee might. This Elven White Knight is a long-term work in progress. White Knight, White Knife for Gil-galad with Might of Elves, which I'm told is arguably the best modifier because of what he does. Then we have well, I'll do that one later. I have a couple battle axes with Flay, just because they're the bread and butter for most attack commanders. Another melee with Might. I have a Carver with Man Strength. I think that works perfect for Arwen, Arwen, because it's the +3 attack, it's the +9 base, the +9 men allied damage, which pairs well with her nobility, which gives a +30%. I've got a Carver with Smite for Gandalf for the proc chance for his heals. A Mirkwood Bow that's got the Pierce for a Legolas. If and when I use him, I don't really like him that much personally. A second Cutlass for another melee might we're working on. Additional battle axe, and then one more Carver with men's strength we're working on. And then obviously I've got a couple of these, the Ranger's Dagger, because I like the might and speed on it, and 3 Uruk-hai Pikes, because they give you a lot of might, and the nice Pierce proc. So we take it down to armor, and here's what we're doing pretty decent with the armor stuff, so... In fact... I've got one armor here, I've got one there... So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4... I don't know how I feel about any of this. Well, now I've got 2 more of those, so let's just refine that before I do something I probably don't want to do. Okay. So as you see, we've got a Plate of the Citadel, which is also on Arwen. Good barrier, good defenseman, good focus. Synergizes well with her men protection or men focus. This is normally on Theoden, but for right now it's on Éowyn, because I have Éowyn higher respect, just so she's easier to use in the beginning of the season. Resilience of soldiers. It's got the speed melee for horses. I've got a Mithril coat I acquired from last season, taking 2nd place. Not the best modifier. Personally, I think his best modifier is either barrier or probably tactical maneuvers, to be honest. Army of Dwarves isn't bad, but then I would just go to Durin's Plate at that point, because it may not have the specific one for dwarves, but it's got resilience of soldiers, which then pairs really well with the attack dwarves and HP dwarves. But honestly, I'd probably just go Fortitude of Dwarves, because there are a bunch of dwarven weapons that offer good defense bonuses. I've got a Scout's Mail with Deafness. This sits on my Aragorn. I know he's not exactly a speed commander, but I like to make him faster, and the +30 might is pretty solid overall. I've got a Scale Mail with Melee Vigor for reduction on that. Scale Mail with Guard. Another Scale Mail with Melee Vigor. I've got 2 sets of Quilted Armor. One with Focus Protection we're working on, as obviously we just did. And another one with Attunement, which generally goes on Gandalf the White if I use him. Superior Hauberk with Fire Protection. That's Dwalin. That sticks on Dwalin, stays on Dwalin, rubber cemented on Dwalin, doesn't go anywhere. We've got a second Scout's Mail. I want to get a second one with Deafness, but actually I don't mind this Scout's Mail with Range Vigor, because eventually that might go on a Haldir if I choose to use him down the line. The speed to give him obviously that Galadrim increase, but also the Range Vigor to reduce damage. And we've got 3 Scale Mail sitting here, which will go on this one once we have the points. Need a second Hauberk for that. And then this is down the road potentially. The Hunter's Skin, this is probably the best modifier for me. Guard isn't bad. Poison Protection, very situational. Throw the Hunt, you wouldn't use that, but this is a guaranteed -6%. And it should not, what I like about it is it's not just damaged. It's not just damage, physical damage received, it's all damage. So for me, that's pretty sensible. And then I always keep a couple rough breastplates with a couple different modifiers. Speed, actually these are all the same. It must be the helmets. And then accessories. We have Éowyn's Rohan Refuge. We have an Entrock Calabash with the best modifier, Gift of Nature, because it gives you a bonus on all +3 stats. So that's a really good one for melee units. I have an Airborne Pride, which is an army HP increased. Dwarves, Iron Guard, which is pretty solid. I've got that on Falcon, although he's not being used at the moment. I've got a Night Star with Opportune Strike. We'll see where that goes. We'll see where that ends up. I don't know. I might just use that to... you know what? Oh my god, somebody's going to kill me if I do that. I don't know, though. Oof. Maybe just hold on to that for now. Oh boy. I keep 3 hif lanes, as many as I can, all with mend, for obvious reasons. So do the same with 3 sustained pipes, 1 Hobbit Fiddle with Husbandry maxed, and then I keep 2 Wizard Fireworks, 1 with Ranged Might, because there's a really good synergy, and then 1 with Bane of Mounted units, because, well, when I was facing Rohan for 2 seasons in a row, you need some mounted unit damage bonuses. And then I Fiddle the Eldest. This usually I wish I had a better modifier. This usually goes on Theoden because of the obvious commander speed bonus, the army defense bonus, the army speed bonus. I would love it with a better modifier like Blitz. I would take Might of Soldiers. I would prefer Blitz. So we'll have to see how that goes. But anyways, oh man, I'm tempted to. That's dangerous grounds there. Yeah, I'm like very proud of my Faramir. I'm gonna get his. He's gonna be so dope. I hate to be cheesy about that, but he's gonna be so dope once I get his R10. But I mean, look at here. This is a +3 at max level, or at max familiarity, +9%. +3 at max familiarity, +3 at max familiarity. So you're gonna get a +9 base increase, and then +9, +9. That's 18%. And then as you go into his points down here, that's nobility damage, men damage +3%, which maxes at 21. So if you take the 18 and you add the 21, that is 39%. And if you take the guide, which is 45% increase, plus the 39%, you're looking at 84% increase in the first 2 rounds, and then tapers off back to 39%. That's pretty hefty. I'm looking forward to that. Crappy. It's such crappy. Need to save some points here. Trying to save up here. We're all scrounging for our first 200. Some people have gotten it already. Good for them. I have not. I do not intend to rush. I will get mine tomorrow most likely. And I'll get this bad boy here. Although God knows I would love one of these metal ores. But I'll get the one closest to me out of respect and out of just ease of reinforcement, march time, and everything above. So we're trying to make sure we're getting our knights and our spearmen. I'm not going to worry about T3s for the time being. Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, that'd be nice, but I'm really not going to worry about that. Sorry, grab that. So got 10 of those, 3 of those. Trying to save up some of this stuff for the nitty gritty of the sea. Man, I'm stupidly tempted to do something about that. We have to wait a while. Still, it's going to be good. That'll be really good. Oh my God, this is going to be so good. I'm probably going to use this for... Actually, I'll probably use this for Celeborn down the road. Because Celeborn with a +6 on the March Wardens. Ooh, and Trapper Sub with the +3. Ooh, He's been looking real nice like. Real nice like. But anyways, that's essentially the gear. I'm going to be using Gandalf, obviously we'll see how the season goes. This is not an RP, remember that. I'm not a huge fan of Dwalin after using him for 2 consecutive seasons, season 1, season 2. But I'm going to have to keep him in rotation because of all the Witch Kings from both sides. So we'll probably go Gandalf 1, 2. Those are the 2 commanders. She's 3, he's 4, and then most likely it'll be Faramir 5, Aragorn 6, and then probably both of these guys is like secondary. He's going to have to be used. I mean, he's just too good not to be, but at the same time, I don't like being forced to use commanders. I mean, I use the ones I have to use, but Theoden's so meta that it's just like kind of boring, so I might swap him with Eowyn because I do have her at R15. And she's fun to use. But anyways, thanks for joining me, guys. I hope you have a really nice afternoon. And I'll try to record our first keep taking. I will try to record a little brief one on any crossings we take or the 200 I take. I'll try to get that recorded. Got some stuff going on tomorrow, so hopefully I'll be able to fit that in. But anyways, thank you for the time and have a nice afternoon.